Hello children, welcome to our English class. So in our previous class we have completed our lesson Chinky at a Party. So Chinky, we have learned that it is the name of a cat and it narrates us all the events and incidents that happened on a particular day. So now one of the language functions is completed in our previous class, that is reading and understanding. See, our understanding of what we read is tested. And what do we call that test? We call that test as comprehension. What do we call that? Comprehension. So from now on, whenever you listen to the word comprehension, please understand that it is referring to understanding. We have listening comprehension, we have reading comprehension, right? So listening comprehension is listening and understanding. Reading comprehension is reading and understanding. So how is our comprehension tested? Whether we understood whatever we read or not needs to be tested. And how is that done? It's done with the help of few questions. So we have reading comprehension questions after our lesson. So reading comprehension means testing our understanding in reading. So my dear students, I want you to do the reading comprehension part. I request you to do the reading comprehension part without seeking anybody's help. I'm sure you can do it. Sometimes you may go wrong. You may not be able to answer all the questions correctly, but that won't make any difference. That at least will give us a clear understanding of how much we are able to understand and how much else do we have to learn. See? So tell your parents that no matter what happens, I'll do the reading comprehension on my own, and then you can later assess or evaluate my answers. Accordingly, your parents will help you. So reading comprehension part is totally left to you. Then what are we going to learn in today's class? In today's class, let us first start with listening. As I told you, listening comprehension, right? I'm going to read out a poem for you and I'm going to do that only once, okay? So what do you have to do before you answer the listening comprehension questions? Have a good look at the question. What's the question? Listen to your teacher and tick the animals that your teacher reads in the poem, right? So I'm your teacher for now. So I'll read out the poem, then you have to put a tick mark beside the words, beside the names of the animals in the box that you come across or that you listen in my poem. First look at the animals. What are the animals? Crocodiles, camels, dogs, deers, elephants, lions, zebras, rabbits, monkeys, tigers, peacocks, giraffes, foxes. So these are the animals. Now are you ready? Right. So let me read out the poem for you. I see elephants with heavy legs eating bacon and eggs. I see giraffes with long necks playing with the horses around a deck. I see zebras wearing black and white, running freely under the sunlight. I see monkeys making funny tricks, eating bananas and playing with sticks. I see people walking around, listening to the foxes making their wow, wow sound. Okay? So now you understood what's the first animal. The first animal is with heavy legs. What's the name of that animal? Elephant. So shall we tick elephant? Yes. Then see, let us only appreciate the poem. Elephant is eating bacon. What is bacon? See, this is the listening part. I shouldn't explain all that. If you are interested to know the meanings of the words, you can refer to the dictionary. But for your understanding, I am telling you what is bacon. Bacon is meat. Okay. In few countries, bacon is also referred to as pork, that is pig's meat. Right? So here the poet is very rich in imagination. Elephant is a vegetarian. Elephant doesn't eat bacon, but just he's mentioning like that. Okay. So what's the first animal with heavy legs? Elephant. Put a tick mark beside elephant. Then playing at the decks. Horses around a deck. Playing with the horses around a deck. Who is playing with horses? Animals with long necks. What's that animal? Giraffes. Right? Giraffes, horses. Then there is an animal wearing black and white. Who's that animal wearing black and white? Zebra. Put a tick mark, right mark in the box beside zebra. Put a right mark in the box beside horse. Put a right mark beside in the box beside, yes, giraffes. And then we have monkeys. What are the monkeys doing? Monkeys are making funny tricks and playing with sticks. And along with that playing funny tricks and playing with sticks, they are also eating bananas. So, and the foxes are making what sound? Whoa, whoa. So, foxes, then monkeys, and then we have zebras, horses, giraffe, elephant, right? So, these are the 6 animals. Put the right mark or tick mark in the 6 boxes. We don't have tigers, we don't have deer, we don't have camels, we don't have dogs, we don't have lions, we don't have peacocks, right? So that's the listening part. Now, after listening, let's move on to the next part. What's that? Speaking. After listening, what's the next part? Speaking. So, my dear students, the more you listen, the more better it is for your speaking. The more you listen, the better your speaking improves, or the better your spoken skills develop. So I'm sure by the end of these classes you will become a very good speaker. Now let us learn. What are we learning here? We are going to talk about our hobbies. In speaking session, what are we going to do? We are going to talk about our hobbies. What are hobbies? Hobbies are those works or those activities that we love to do when we find time, not as a full-time job. See, your father goes to office. That's not his hobby. That's his duty. I teach. Teaching is not a hobby to me. What is it then? It's my profession, right? So what is a hobby then? Hobby is an activity that we do when we find leisure time. Hobby is something, a habit that you pick up to fill in your pastime. My dear students, I request all of you to pick up very good habits. Why? Because the habits that you pick up now, the hobbies you pick up now in your childhood, tomorrow after you grow up, they may also be helpful to you to start a second profession. That is how it is with many lives of great people. Let's not go deep into that. But now in our speaking part, we are going to talk about games and our hobbies. For example, usually whenever we meet people, what do? We ask questions. Whenever we meet people, we try to build rapport with them. We try to build a new relation with them. So we try to make them comfortable. We ask few questions about them so that we can know about them, and then we tell few details of ours so that the other person can also know us better, right? So we share information in order to build rapport, in order to strengthen the relation. Usually, what's the best topic to talk to a stranger or to a new person to strengthen our friendship or bond? To talk about their hobbies. So here, what's the general question? What do you like to play? What do you like to play? Now this is the question. So you can answer it like, I like to play hockey. It's given in the book. But for me, I like to play cricket, I like to play kho-kho, I like to play basketball, I like to play volleyball. All outdoor games are my favorite. Right, so I know many of you also are very much interested in outdoor games. So what do you like to play? What is the answer? I like to play hockey. I like to play with dolls. A girl here is telling that she like to play with dolls. Then I don't play outdoor games. I like to play games on a computer. See, now we have a new friend here who's more interested in staying indoors. Okay, he enjoys the indoor games. He enjoys playing on computer rather than I don't play outdoor games. What is he telling? I don't play outdoor games. Then we have a cat. What is the cat telling? I like to chase mice. This is my favorite game. Okay, now here we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 pictures, and below the picture we are also given the name of the game. Let us try to answer the question. What do you like to play? I like to fly a kite. What should be the answer? I like to fly a kite. Now don't tell that I like to fly a kite. No, that's wrong. Why? It is because play itself is verb. Then here fly is verb. I like to fly a kite. So maybe many of you also are making preparations for coming Sankranti to fly kites. So but please be careful when you fly a kite. What do you like to play? I like to fly a kite. Then what's the next question? What do you like to play? I like to run in a three-legged race. I like to play in three-legged. Okay, I like to play in. I like to run. As I already told, sir, play is a verb. Then if we have another verb, we don't need to use play. Why we didn't write play here? Because fly is a verb. Here also the same. I like to run. We don't write I like to play. I like to run in a three-legged race. I like to run in a three-legged race. Then what's the next question? What do you like to play? The next game we can see in the book. I like to play hide and seek, hide and find, or hide and seek. Next question. What is there? A man with a cricketing bat. What do you like to play? I like to play cricket. Then two boys are playing chess there. How do you answer the question? What do you like to play? I like to play chess. Then two boys are playing with marbles there. What would be the answer? What do you like to play? I like to play with marbles. Then what's the next question? What do you like to play? I like to ride a bicycle. That is my favorite game. Then what do you like to play? I like to play tricks on others. So this is how we have to answer our question. What do you like to play, and convey our hobbies. Now, without wasting time, let us move on to our next topic. And what is our next topic? Our next topic is grammar. What is our next topic, sir? Grammar. G-R-A-M-M-A-R. I repeat, A-R. Grammar. Right? So read the following sentences. I belong to the Khans. Shahid taps Farha's shoulders. Farha's mother rushes to her mother. In these sentences, what is the first word? Belongs. Then what is the second word? In the second sentence, taps. And in the third sentence, what is the word? Rushes. Now, sir, you can see from the three sentences, from the first sentence I took belongs, from the second sentence I took taps, and from the third sentence I took a word rushes. Why did I particularly choose these words? It is because these words are verbs. What are these? Verbs. What is a verb? we have learned the parts of speech. How many parts of speech are there? 8 parts of speech are there. In those 8 parts of speech, we have noun, pronoun, adjective, adverb, conjunction, preposition, interjection. And more importantly, we have verb. Verb is the most important parts of speech. It tells about an action, work, right? So belongs is a verb, taps is a verb, rushes is a verb. Why only did I pick the verb? Because verb helps us to know the tense. What does verb helps us to know? Tense. What is the meaning of tense? Tense is time. Tense is time. So what is tense? Tense is time. Time of what? Time of an action. Right? Time of an action. A word that tells about the time of an action of a work is called tense. So here all the above sentences are in the simple present tense. How do you know that these words are in simple present tense? All the 3 sentences, I belong to I. Okay, the subject is I. I belong to the Khans. Shahid taps Farhad's shoulders. Farhad's mother rushes to her daughter. How do we know that all these sentences are in simple present tense? By looking at the verb. The verbs are telling that the sentences are in simple present tense. Sir, what is simple present tense? Simple present tense is a verb that tells about an action that happens regularly. I eat breakfast. Does it mean I'm eating it now? Am I? No. I eat breakfast. I wake up at 6 o'clock in the morning. I wake up. Am I waking up now? No. So, works that are done as habits or as a custom. Custom means on a regular basis. So, verbs that tell us about the actions that are done on a regular basis are called simple present tense verbs. Example, I wake up at 6 in the morning. I brush my teeth. Right? And what do I do, sir? I go to school. Yes, you go to school. I too go to school. So, all these verbs, I go is in simple present tense in that way. So, all these verbs are also in simple present tense. A few verbs that are in V1 form are called simple present tense verb. Sometimes we also add S or ES to the verb that is in basic form. Sir, let me make it more clear. How many forms are there? Verb forms are 4. V1, V2, V3, V1 plus ing. 4 verb forms. What is this V1? V1 is called the basic verb form. For example, eat, then tap. Okay, this is not the noun tap from where water comes. Tap means like this, tapping. Generally, when you listen to music, what do? You tap your finger, or we tap our feet, right? So, eat, tap, then rush, then see, sir, V2 is eat becomes ate, tap becomes tapped, rush becomes rushed. Okay, then V3, eat becomes eaten, tapped. Here also it will be tapped only. Why? Sir, simple. When a verb gets ed at the end in V2, it remains the same in V3. Here also rushed, ed. Then here also rushed, ed. Right? Then V1 plus ing. Eat. First write V1. Eat plus ing. Eating. Tap plus ing. Tapping. Rush plus ing. Rushing. See? V1, write V1 first, then add ing. Now, as I told you, few verbs we also add V1 plus yes or es. Now, when you add eat, eats, tap, taps. Rush, rushes. See, here we are adding s and s in eats and taps, whereas in rushes we are adding es. Even these verbs are also in simple present tense. Which tense? Simple present tense. All these verbs are also in simple present tense. What is the difference? We will learn, right? We will learn in our next class. Sir, when the subject is I, you, we, they, we use this. When the subject is he, she, it, we use this. Okay? So here, I belong to Hans. Belong is in V1 form. Then who tapped it said? Shahid taps Farhas shoulder. So in this way. Now these are all simple present tense. All the above sentences are in simple present tense. We use this tense to express custom or habit. I told you. What's the habit? I wake up early every day at 6 p.m. That's 6 a.m. That's my habit. I brush my teeth. I go to school. So these are all my habits. Or the truth. What are the truths? I belong to Hans. What did Chinky say? Chinky told, I belong to Hans. That's a truth. What's the other name for truth? Facts. So tell me few facts about you. I am 8 years old. Is it a fact or not? I am 8 years old. I study in XYZ school. I study in XYZ school. Is that a fact or not? My father's name is Mr. So and so. Is that a fact or not? So all the truths, all the facts, all the habits and all the regular activities. What do you call the regular activities? Customs. Can be told in simple present tense. So sometimes the simple present tense verbs are V1. Eat, tap, rush, break, dance, sleep. Sometimes we add s or es. Okay. Right. Now let's fill in the blanks with correct form of the verbs in the brackets. My parents. My dear students, I would like to mention one more thing here when it comes to tenses. We should know about singular subject and plural subject. What should we know about? Singular subject and plural subject. What is subject? When I say subject, it is not maths, English, science. When I say subject, it is the name or it is the pronoun that comes in a sentence. For example, an elephant is a large animal. What is the subject here? An elephant. An elephant is the subject. Then, I belong to Mr. Hans. What is the subject here? I. Okay. So, in the same way, I, you, we, they. What are the subjects, sir? Singular subjects are he, she, it. If you see he, she, it as a subject in a sentence, they are singular subjects. If you see I, you, we, they, these are plural subjects. What are these? These are plural subjects. Sir, with singular subjects, we get V1 plus S or ES. With plural subject, we get V1. So, singular means one, plural means many. I repeat, singular, single, one, plural, many. So, in the subject, when we have one person, one animal or one thing, then we use V1 plus S or ES. We have to add S or ES to the verb. If we have more than one person, one animal or one thing in the subject, that is plural subject, we write V1. See, for example, I is single, one person only, but we consider it as a plural subject. Okay. So, I belong, V1. I belong. Whereas Shahid, how many people are there in subject? Only one person. Shahid is only one person, no? Shahid taps. We are adding S. Shahid taps. We are adding S to the verb. Then rushes. Who rushes? Farha's mother. Farha's mother. Mother is singular. Mothers is plural. Farha's mother is singular. When you have singular subject, S or ES. Now let us quickly do. My parents. One parent or two parents? Two, no? Two means more than one. Plural subject. So when you have plural subject, do we add S? No, we don't add S when we have plural subject. When do we add S? When we have singular subject. That is he, she, it or one person's name. Shahid, Farha's mother. When we have one person, we use S here. S or ES. Right? So my parents drink tea every morning. Habitual action. Simple present tense. She dash her room every day. She. Singular. She is singular. So when we have singular, what do we have to do? Add S or ES. She sweep or she sweeps? She sweeps. He, she, it, add S or ES. She sweeps. Then some boys dash what they learn. Some boys. One boy? No, more than one boy. Plural. No S or ES. So here some boys forget what they learn. Our team. Now you tell me whether team is singular or plural. Come on, make a guess. Team. When do you call something as a team? When one person is called a team? No. If many people come together, then we call it as a team. Kho-kho team, 9 people. Kabaddi team. Then we have cricket team. Right? In this way. Quiz team. So when you say team, it is, what is that? It's a collection of many people, but we consider it as one. So our team win almost every match or wins. Team, though there are many people in the team, the entire team is seen as one. Chennai Super Kings, there are 16 players, but it is one team, singular. Mumbai Indians, there are 16 players, but one team. Kolkata Knight Riders, one team. Sunrisers Hyderabad, one team. So team is always considered singular. So singular, S or ES. Win or wins? Wins. Our team wins almost every match. My mother. My mother, singular. Again, singular subject, S or ES. My mother kisses me every morning. The sun, one or many? The sun, one sun or many suns? One, singular. So S or ES. The sun rises in the east. Now, everybody understood, sir, what is simple present tense? Don't worry. It's a very simple concept. The more, see, now what I request is, I request every one of you to read the lesson Chinky at a Party again. Read the lesson again and try to underline all the verbs that are in simple present tense. Few verbs are in singular subject, few verbs are with plural subject. So what all the subjects are there with singular subject, you will find S or ES along those verbs in simple present tense. All those verbs which come with plural subject, they don't carry S or ES. They will only be the basic form. Eat, tap, rush, like that. So kindly collect all the verbs from the first lesson. Now read the following sentence. I am sitting on the piano. Perhaps he is planning to play a trick on someone. He is thinking about something. Look at these three sentences, sir. These three sentences, what are the verbs? In the first sentence, sitting. Now I'll write it here. See, sitting. Where should I write? V1 plus ing. But before that, what is the basic form? Sit. Then V2, sat. Sit, sat, sat, then sitting. See, ing, sitting, sits. Here he has sit. Here V1, V3 form is also sit. Okay. Now, look at this ma. He is planning. What's the next verb? Plan. Plan is basic. Planned, N-N-E-D. Now, if ED comes in V2, what's the rule? What's the rule? V3 is also ED. Planned. Then, planning. Plans. Right? Okay. Think. Think, thought, thinking, thinks. Right? Okay. Now, here all the verbs which are written with ing are called continuous tense. All the above sentences are in the present continuous tense. How do you know present continuous tense? All the verbs that are with ing. See, if a verb is followed after is, are, am plus V1 plus ing, then this V1 plus ing is called present continuous tense. Is, are, am plus, for example, I am sitting. I am sitting. Am sitting is present continuous tense. Then what's the second example? He is thinking. He is thinking. What's the third example? Second example is he is planning. Third example, he is thinking. First example, I am sitting. Now I'll give you one more example. We are learning. We are learning. So is, am, are plus V1 plus ing is called present continuous tense. What is present continuous tense? Present continuous tense tells about actions that are happening right now. Actions happening now. What are you doing? You are listening. Now, what am I doing? I am teaching. Okay? Then we are learning English. See, all these tenses are present continuous tense. They tell about the actions that are happening now. What am I doing? I am sweating. I am sweating. Then what am I doing, sir? I am scratching my head. So actions. What am I doing? I am jumping. So actions happening at the time of speech are called present continuous tense. What are those called? The verbs are called to be in present continuous tense. Now change the following sentence. We have a small exercise here, my dear students. Let's do it very quickly. What's that? The gardener waters plants. The gardener. The gardener. What should I use? Should I use is here, are here, am here? I should use gardener. Singular. Is. Gardener is. One person is. More than one person are. I am. Okay? The gardener is V1 plus ing. What is the verb here? Waters. What does the gardener do? Waters. So, V1 water plus ing. Watering the plants. I hope everybody understood. Let's go to the next one. The children swim in the pool every day. The children children. Who are called children? If it is one, we call child, my little child. But if many, children. So many, not one. One means is. My child is pretty. But children are. Children are. Why? More than one. Children are swimming. Children are swimming. Where do they swim? Swimming in the pool. Don't write every day now. Children are swimming in the pool. Why? It is happening now. Present continuous means what? The action should be happening now. So, the children are swimming in the pool. Then what's the next one? An aeroplane. An means how many? An elephant, an apple, an umbrella, an orange. An means one. An aeroplane. An aeroplane. One. When one comes, is or am. What should I use? One. No. One. Is. An aeroplane is. Flies become flying. An aeroplane is flying in the air. Aeroplane is flying in the air. Right. The old man. How many people are there? The old man. How many people are there? One. So when it is one, is or am. Who? Is. The old man is. Walks becomes walking. V1 plus ing. Walk. First write walk. Then add ing. Walking. The old man is walking slowly along the road. Along the road. Now, what's the next one? The lion. One. So the lion is hide. H-I-D-E. Hide plus ing. Hiding. H-I-D-I-N-G. So the lion is hiding behind the tree. The last sentence. Sachin, one person, is bowl plus ing, bowling. Sachin is bowling to the batsman. Okay. Now, shall we go to the next question? Fill in each blank correctly with simple present tense or present continuous tense form of verb given in the brackets. That this train dash at every station. It's a custom. It's a regular action. Simple present tense. This train is singular. Singular, stops. This train stops at every station. At this station now. Now means it is happening now. So this train stops at every station. It is stopping. It, singular. It is stopping at this station now. The sun, singular. The sun, singular. Singular means sets. The sun sets in the west every evening. It is setting behind the trees now. He generally speaks English in the office. Generally, everyday action. He generally speaks English in the office. But today, he is speaking in Tamil. But today, he is speaking in Tamil. My mother usually makes dresses for my dolls. She is making one now. So the next one is vocabulary, sir. Let's quickly do that. What's the next part? Vocabulary. What is vocabulary? Words. All the words in a language put together is called vocabulary. Right? So here what do we have to do? Basic verb is given. Sit, basic verb. We have to change it into continuous one. That is V4. V1 plus ing. How do you do that? Sit plus ing, sitting. Here we are adding two T's, right? Sometimes we have to do that. Then put, putting. Again we are adding one more T here. Then we have ride. Ride. What do we do, sir? Riding. Okay. Next. Fit. Fit. Sit, put, fit. Then we will add one more T. Fitting. Then leave. See, what is the next one? Leave. Leaving. What is the next one? Go. Going. Run. Add one more N. Run. Running. Right? Play. Playing. So now, fast word finder. Name things you can find. See, this is a very funny exercise. I give this as a homework to you. When you attend a party, at a party, what are the three things that you find? In a snap, you have to tell me. Don't ponder. Don't think or contemplate for a long time. Just what strikes to your mind, tell that. Immediately you have to tell. Name three things you can find. That too, fast word finder. Okay. At a party, what do you find at party? Balloons. I'm just giving you one example, right? Usually at parties we find balloons. Then what do you find on trees? Birds, flowers. Oh, I'm sorry, I shouldn't tell the answer. I think I gave you this as an assignment. You have to tell three things that you find in a park, on trees, in your classroom, in the market. It's a very easy and interesting exercise. I hope every one of you will do that. Okay. Now, before we conclude the lesson, let's do the last part. What is that? Phonic part. Now, what is phonic part? Phonic. Phone. Phone means sound. What is the meaning of the word phone? Sound. So, phonic practice. Phonic practice. Now, please listen and repeat along with me. Cat, fetch. Cat, fetch. Map, nap. Map, nap. Light, fight. Light, fight. Mine, nine. Mine, nine. Came, cane. Came, cane. Mail, nail. Mail, nail. Hen, hem. Hen, hem. Ram, run. Ram, ran. Ram into something. Ram into means hit hardly. Ram, ran. Meet, neat. Meet, neat. Right? Now, let us do the last part. Again, this is also an assignment to you. Imagine you are Farha, right? Write a paragraph telling your friend what happened at the party. Okay? So, imagine that you are Farha. Now, write a letter to your friend. Clues are given to you, sir. You just have to work on those clues. Okay? It should be first person narrative. You have to narrate the things that happened at the party. Okay? So, my dear friends, we have completed our project work is there. I kindly request you to do the project work. This is regarding our class. Like what are the things that you need to decorate the room? If it is January 26th or 15th of August, how do you decorate the room? What are the things that you need? Then what are the games for the children? Right? So when we are planning a party, we first look for the things that we need to decorate, and then the events to conduct, that is games, and then whom to invite, teachers, principal, guests, relatives. So plan a get together party in your class and do all this, please. Right? So I hope every one of you enjoyed learning Chinky at a party. and more importantly, we should also learn language. So my dear students, I request you to listen to this class twice or thrice till you understand. If you have any doubts, you can also consult your parents. So until we meet with the next lesson, please take very good care. Thank you so much. Love you all.